places and you've got wonderful relationships with people and you just have this fear of asking for referrals. I'm going to show you how to do this in such a nice, classy, graceful way, how to bridge into it and ask in such a way that they'll never again say, I can't think of anybody right now, but when I do, I'll call you. All things being equal, people will do business with and refer business to those people they know, like, and trust.
A pioneer in the art and science of leveraging relationships, Bob Burg has earned tremendous acclaim for using his warm, humorous, and entertaining speaking style to deliver powerful and immediately applicable information. As an accomplished author, 2 of Bob's many books, Endless Referrals, Network Your Everyday Contacts into Sales, and Winning Without Intimidation, How to Master the Art of Positive Persuasion, have each sold well over 100,000 copies. And his newest release, The Success Formula, is already being heralded by many noteworthy members of our nation's business community. Bob has toured the national circuit, sharing the platform with such legends as Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Dennis Waitley, Larry King, Willard Scott, Paul Harvey, Tom Hopkins, Mary Lou Retton, Coach Lou Holtz, the late Og Mandino, former President Gerald Ford, and countless others. Bob has spoken for corporations and associations internationally, including Fortune 500 companies, franchises, and numerous direct sales organizations. He has also made numerous appearances on both local and national television. Through all his books, television appearances, and corporate presentations, Bob Burg inspires and empowers his audiences with his non-threatening, non-manipulative principles for cultivating and leveraging relationships. Bob will teach your team or organization to find the right people by cultivating an endless stream of quality prospects. He will share natural ways to meet these people, making the prospecting experience fun for both the salesperson and their prospect. And your people will learn how to win their prospects over by developing the right mindset to fully cultivate and positively leverage those relationships. Bob is a staunch promoter and defender of the free enterprise system, believing that the amount of wealth that one receives is directly proportional to the number of people they serve. We invite you to enjoy the upcoming clips of Bob in action.
I define networking as the cultivating of mutually beneficial give and take, win-win relationships. When done correctly, when done with a genuine caring about the other person, their wants, their needs, their desires, but when following a system for doing so, you'll absolutely turbocharge your referral network. You'll just accelerate the number of quality names on your list who you can call just because of the relationship you've established with them or someone else. Now, I mentioned the word system. What is a system? Well, I define a system as the process of predictably achieving a goal based on a logical and specific set of how-to principles. In other words, it should be predictable. You know that if you do A, you will get the desired results of B. You get this initial list of names down, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, as excited as I am about this, everybody I talk to is going to be just as excited about it as I am. Not. Didn't quite happen that way, did it? I mean, you got on the phone and you got a no and you got another no and you got a no and you got a no and you got another no. So what's wrong with these people? What's not working here? What is it they don't get? So I'll try a different tack. You went out into the community and you started to press the flesh, hand out business cards, give a great benefit statement, talk about what you do, and people still said no. This person said no, this person said no, that person said no. Now you go back, you look at that telephone again, and by now it looks as though it weighs about 1,000 pounds. But you pick it up anyway, and you make a call, and you get a no. And you get another no. And you get another no. it begins to remind you of that song from the late 60s, early 70s. Now it's featured on commercials all the time. It goes, no, 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 no. And that's not good. It's not good at all. In fact, you really begin to lose your confidence and get quite discouraged. In fact, now when you talk to people, you have a sense of desperation in your voice. Because you might think, mistakenly, you might think that, gee, I'm working with a finite list of names. So every time somebody tells me no, I'm now one step closer to being out of business. And that's not true, and that's what we're going to talk about. But what happens is when you talk to a person like that and you have that sort of desperation in your voice, they can sense it. And people don't like to do business with people who appear to need them too much. Would you agree with that? Okay? What's happened is you've lost your posture. Now, I define posture as when you care, but not that much. What do I mean by that? Of course you care. You care. You want to help that person. You want to get a new customer, new client. You want to make money for yourself. You want to help them. But what I mean is, though you care, you're not emotionally attached to the results. In other words, if they're interested, great. You'd prefer they are. If they're not, that's okay too. I have a saying that I believe is pretty accurate. And that is the amount of posture you will have and the amount of posture you'll display is directly proportional to how many quality names you have on your list. You have a ton of quality names, lots of posture, because no one person can make or break your business. All I'm going to talk about is how to add to your list on an everyday basis in a never-ending way to keep that pipeline filled, to add new prospects. But here's the deal, and here's the thing, and this is important. I'm going to show you how to do it in a way that is fun. I know it doesn't sound like that could be true. Prospecting, fun, it is going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be non-threatening to your prospect and to you. For instance, we've all heard, well, you can go to your Chamber of Commerce and they have those networking business after-hours card exchange events. How many of you by hands have ever been to one of those? Raise your hand so I can see. Okay? How many have never been to one of those? Raise your hand so I can see. How many of you in this audience will absolutely not raise your hands no matter what I ask? Good. Good. Okay. Now, see, you've been to one of these before, and it was an hour and a half or 2 hours of people talking about themselves and handing out business cards and saying about what they can do and who this is and blah, 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 blah. And you go, this is worthless. And you were right. It was. And it is. Unless you know how to do it correctly. Follow the system, and you will find diamonds in your acres. He's going to tell you his name. And then you ask him what he does. What line of work are you in? What do you do? Perfectly legitimate question to ask, right? And he's going to tell you. And then he's going to ask you what you do. He's going to ask you what you do. And here is what I call the danger zone. Why? Because when he asks you what you do, not only are you going to want to tell him, you're going to want to tell him everything. Well, I help people create and manage wealth. The way we do that is, and you know what, it's unbelievable because we can offer these things, 3 to 5 years, you're going for financial future. And it totally turns that person off. See, they're not ready for that. They're not ready for that. The know you, like you, trust you relationship has not been established. It's what Rick Hill calls fire hosing a person. We don't want to do that. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to quickly put the conversation back to him, and we're going to invest 99.9% of the conversation with this person, asking him questions about himself and his business. We've all heard it said before. The people we find most interesting are the people who seem most interested in us. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been in a conversation before with someone who let you do practically all the talking? Didn't you kind of come away from that conversation saying to yourself, wow, what a fascinating conversationalist that person is?